Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Cubs Out Loud. Hey, guess what? We don't really have a show today. Kind of, sort of. We will have a show up, but we need to make the show. So, but the show is really more of an audio only thing, so it's not video. But I wanted to get you something because I know some of you want to pop in and chat and everything and watch it. We've had somebody say, "Hey, were you going to be live?" Well, not today. But that's okay. Everything's fine. We're going to have an audio show out in just a few minutes, but I am going to show you how the sausage is made. No pun intended, when it comes to how I put together a show, especially with the audio version. We got a very special one featuring Hadrian McQuaig, one of our current pedestal person. We still haven't decided on having a new one, so who knows. So I'm basically going to do the show. I'm going to have my mic down where I do the editing. You can ask questions in the chat. If you have anything, actually, it could be any sort of question whatsoever. So even if it's about the show, about whatever, some random shit, that's fine. But we are live. I'm going to actually put a post just to make sure everybody knows I'm live now. All right, so just to kind of show you what I use. I actually use, and this is what I've been using pretty much most of the time I've done the show. I actually use this old black MacBook I got. Can't really see it very well. And I've been putting together a show with this program called Ubercaster this entire time. For one of these special episodes, we normally have a document just like this. So we have title, when we record, when it's supposed to be posting. This is not right. Recording date. This isn't really recorded. This is kind of pre-recorded. Got our little title of the show, synopsis of what it is. This is sometimes what I use for that intro segment at the beginning. We keep our links for where everything is here. We have like a sketch outline of just the show notes that I put on the website. In this case, for the special one, we have a little script. Script for it. Also, one of the things I'm going to do on this one is actually record a few things. Don't forget, we do have our store at Zazzle.com/CubsOutLoud, or you can just go to the website, click the merchandise link. We got a whole bunch of things. We got some shower curtains, some shoes, some buttons. We of course got shirts, sweatshirts of different logos. We got boxers, underwear, everything. So if you would like some merch, check it out. You can also, if you find some sort of type of thing that you're not seeing specifically, you can also go into one of these. Like, let's take a look at this polo shirt here. There's also style. You can actually select other things. So in this case, this is a polo shirt, which automatically has the logo in the corner here. But there's some other ones where you can have that same logo in the corner, some zip-up hoodies maybe. So also there's the GoFundMe campaign for helping improve these streams so that we can give you a better video show as well as our audio show. So pop over there. As you can see, we've gotten a couple of donations before. give me a new streaming rig, which will definitely help out with better shows in the future. So just a couple plugs there. But let's get into actually doing the show. So unfortunately, I don't have a way of actually showing my computer, so I'm just going to kind of put it together. I'm going to watch the chat for anybody who has any questions or anything that wants to pop in. But I am going to put this show together. Move this a little closer. And you'll be able to hear some of the audio as I'm kind of listening to it and editing it too. Not going to be the best audio, but it'll be audio. Actually, I'm going to make a... So this is how I record my teasers, is I actually just use my iPhone. If it will unlock. And if you ever want to send us some audio, you can actually do something similar. Whether you have an iPhone or what have you. I'm using the Voice Memos app. And it just makes it easier to do the promos. Hey everybody, before we start into this special episode, I wanted to remind you of the ways you can support the show. First is our merch store at Zazzle.com/CubsOutLoud. There you can get t-shirts, hats, poker chips, underwear, backpacks, and various other things with the CO logo. Also, to help with our new video shows, we have a GoFundMe campaign at GoFundMe.com/COLStream to help me get a new streaming rig for better quality streams. Now, enjoy this special episode of Cubs Out Loud. A little fumble there, but whatever. We are not a professional podcast. I will say that. COLSP06 promo. Call that. Nice thing about the iPhone voice memo app, I can just upload this directly to our drive. so I can steal that while I'm editing the show. Sound file. I'll say better. All right. So the episode number for this is SP. That's not 5, it's 6 actually. Anyway. Oh, I also have it up here. Stupid me. Oh, bad. B06. I have a coding scheme for all these. Let's see, delete that. Oh, I have a couple other things to record. Okay. Before I do this. Do. COL Media presents Cubs Out Loud Daddy's Day Storytime 2017. This episode's stories were submitted with the approval from COL listeners. It's time to get comfortable and prepare for some enjoyable tales to relax with. I don't know, is that sexy enough? COL Media presents Cubs Out Loud Daddy's Day Storytime 2017. This episode's stories were submitted with approval from COL listeners. It's time to get comfortable and prepare for some enjoyable tales to relax with. COL. B06. Intro. On that. Pump these in here. It is in pieces just because it makes it a little bit easier for editing. And I could just kind of pop that piece in there. Because there's a couple other things. I could just kind of like do all these in one big file and just edit it, but I just find it easier having separate files. Story 1. House of Bears. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to record these all and then do the other one. Story 2. Performance Review. That rhymed. You have been listening to a Cubs Out Loud Daddy's Day Storytime 2017, presented by COL Media. That didn't take too long. Let's upload all these. Here, upload. Here we go. Everything I need to record has been done. I'll tell you that most of the work for this show was done by Hadrian. I'm just putting it all together is pretty much it. As you can see, the promotions and other bits, they're just like quick little recording things that took me like 2 seconds to record. All right. Oh. Everything I need to do. Is I need to take this. This. I put them into the tags of the episode. This is transfer over to my other computer so that I can put it into the episode doc. Fortunately, it doesn't transfer over as nice as I want it to, but that's okay. I can fix it. All right. I'm just going to put that 6 there. I want an actual number. Okay. Now to put the show together. This should show you. I start off with a blank laptop or blank screen on my little program here, and then I just throw everything into place, just like any other audio thing. So if you have GarageBand or have used some other things, you might actually get the same idea here. Then of course listen to everything so everything sounds right. All right, so let's get our promo in here. We'll just start off the show with that. And so Gary gives me the script, and then it just kind of like I have to kind of play with it to make it sound right. Okay. Oh, I am missing something. Close this out. Go ahead and save that. I can put it in here. There we go. I think from the end of my promo, I'm gonna give it about like 5 seconds. Yeah, the sounds.
Streams. Now, enjoy this special episode of Cubs Out Loud. This is bearable.
Yeah. Looks like we're starting the show off with Dance for One by Dexter Britton. So, pop this in here like this and see how it sounds. I haven't actually listened to any of the songs, so I kind of have to figure out how I want to use them.
This is bearable.
I think here. Want this to. Okay, so intro. Not here. I kind of wish I could show you what I'm seeing here, but I just don't really have that capability. Maybe here.
Rig for better quality. This is bearable. COL Media presents Cubs Out Loud Daddy's Day Storytime 2017. This episode's stories were submitted with approval from COL listeners. It's time to get comfortable and prepare for some enjoyable tales to relax with.
Ink. I want to say that Gary gave me too much music, but that's okay. I'll work with it. I'll figure it out.
Enjoyable tales to relax with.
Let's fade this out to here.
Tales to relax with. And prepare for some enjoyable tales to relax with. Story 1. The House of Bears.
The House of Bear by Brian Bortell. God, these freaking meetings all day, every day are just getting a little excruciating. We've been here for 3 days.
You know what? I'm taking out my thing. Never mind.
Relax with.
The House of Bear by Brian Bortel.
Uh,
The House of Bear by Brian Bortel. Gah, these freaking meetings all day, every day are just getting a little excruciating. We've been here for 3 days and we haven't even had a chance to see the city. Yeah, I know, it's been brutal. Draco looked around his hotel room, the minimal furnishings passing by his gaze without leaving much of an impression before resting on his roommate, Jason, a fellow accountant in Draco's department. He was a cute, sandy blonde cub with short spiky hair and a well-trimmed beard.
All right. So the next one is 7. Now I had to figure out where this should start.
Back to their hotel. Neither seemed as bothered by not seeing as much of the city the rest of the week, as they were both glad to be heading home by the end. A few weeks later, Draco took Jason out for their first real date, though years later, they would always remember their first time together in Japan. Be heading home by the end. A few weeks later, Draco took Jason out for...
Let's do this.
From the showers to the springs, and then finally heading back to their hotel. Neither seemed as bothered by not seeing as much of the city the rest of the week, as they were both glad to be heading home by the end. A few weeks later, Draco took Jason out for their first real date, though years later, they would always remember their first time together in Japan. Both glad to be heading home by the end.
Actually, this might work. Try this.
Heading back to their hotel. Neither seemed as bothered by not seeing as much of the city the rest of the week, as they were both glad to be heading home by the end. A few weeks later, Draco took Jason out for their first real date, though years later, they would always remember their first time together in Japan. Moving from the showers to the springs, and then finally heading back to their hotel. Neither seemed as bothered by not seeing as much of the city the rest of the week, as they were both glad to be heading home by the end. A few weeks later, Draco took Jason out for their first real date, though years later, they would always remember their first time together in Japan.
Actually, I kind of want to listen to the entire song of this. Go right around here for the next one, performance review.
Performance review by Stocky Joe. Ben panicked again for he'd lost count a lot. He'd screwed up. He'd screwed up so bad, and he just couldn't believe how dumb he'd been. This wasn't the 50s where farm hands could sneak off to the fishing hole all afternoon. Company property, company vehicles. Of course they knew where he was. The whole farm was laid out on GPS. So when his cedar was parked for half an hour off by a little brook,
I think that worked. So here's that whole
taking
segment.
turns exploring each other, eventually moving from the showers to the springs, and then finally heading back to their hotel. Neither seemed as bothered by not seeing as much of the city the rest of the week, as they were both glad to be heading home by the end. A few weeks later, Draco took Jason out for their first real date, though years later, they would always remember their first time together in Japan.
Hi, AJ.
Performance review by Stocky Joe. Ben panicked again for he'd lost count a lot. He'd screwed up. He'd screwed up so bad, and he just couldn't believe how dumb he'd been. This wasn't the 50s where farm hands could sneak off to the fishing hole all afternoon. Company property, company vehicles. Of course they knew where he was. The whole farm was laid out on GPS. So when his cedar was parked for half an hour off by a little brook off the back 40, that all registered all over Magnus Farms computers. Easy to track down. Matt.
All right. And we wrap up with Sleepless Nights. This is a really short show. Yes, I see you. All right.
To pull his pants back up while Ben got himself put back together and helped Briggs back into his suspenders. I'd like to continue this discussion after work, if that'd be agreeable, Briggs said. I'd like that, sir. Ben could not stop smiling.
Let me start here.
He stood up to pull his pants back up while Ben got himself put back together and helped Briggs back into his suspenders. I'd like to continue this discussion after work, if that'd be agreeable, Briggs said. I'd like that, sir. Ben could not stop smiling. This was going to be one hell of a summer.
Okay. I'm going to start it, and then just have it creep up here. Just because I don't want it to overlap. Hadrian's sexy voice.
Winked at him. He stood up to pull his pants back up while Ben got himself put back together and helped Briggs back into his suspenders. I'd like to continue this discussion after work, if that'd be agreeable, Briggs said. I'd like that, sir. Ben could not stop.
I'm gonna slow that roll a little bit. Let's do this. Oh, that's it.
Briggs broke their kiss, smiled broadly, and winked at him. He stood up to pull his pants back up, while Ben got himself put back together and helped Briggs back into his suspenders. I'd like to continue this discussion after work, if that'd be agreeable, Briggs said. I'd like that, sir. Ben could not stop smiling. This was going to be one hell of a summer.
Yeah, that would be much better.
You have been listening to a Cubs Out Loud Daddy's Day Storytime 2017, presented by COLSP06.
This is a normal Tuesday for you? Or was the performance review thing? Actually, change my mind on that.
Presented by COLSP Media. Bearable hopes you have enjoyed this program.
Yeah, that's it. The audio is together. Okay, that's very good. The performance was. All right. So, audio is together, but there's more to my process of posting a show. We're going to take a little trip to Cubs Out Loud website. Here's our little dashboard. We're creating a new show. Using the doc. Title. Take our little synopsis description and add that to All right. Here's our little library of pictures we put in the shows. I'm adding this one. I use a plugin for WordPress called PodPress. I'm not sure how up to date it really is, but it's still working. So that will put a player on there. I'm gonna probably put this video in as a separate post. Just wait until you actually hear the actual stories, AJ. All right, and whatever. I usually don't like having URLs in posts, but I'm too lazy today. And that's pretty much it. And actually, this download podcast link, I think, is what, like, for your podcast provider. This is the link that actually shows up for that. Most with anticipation. Oops. All right. By the way, everything is buffered, so everything I'm seeing AJ talk about is probably something from like 30 to 40 seconds ago or something like that. So that's a nice quick little thing. Here's my PodPress plugin. And pop that there. Oop. Wait, that's not right. This is the address I want. There you go. All right. So the show post is all done. For a normal show, it takes a little bit longer. Actually, I need to put it there. We have no tags, so I'm going to add some. One for the episode number. Adrian, so that people can quickly erotic story. Erotic. Well, all of them. Erotica. Yeah, that will be enough. We'll just stick with those three. All right, and we actually store all these. You can. Every time I upload one of these, I send it to archive.org. So if you want to be the first to actually see one of these episodes, you can watch for it posting on archive.org, because I'll have it up there even before the show posts on the website. All right. I'm just going to put Adrian. Ah! Stop it! My computer's going crazy. Yeah, Adrian. There we go. Those will be my tags. less than other shows, but that's okay. Because this is actually a pretty short show for us, because 30 seconds or 30 minutes, was it? Yeah, this was short of a 30-minute show. Look, just want to say, AJ, the anticipation thing is timeless. It will always be around and will forever be awesome. So, in my humble opinion. Keep forgetting what day it is. There it is. English license, Creative Commons, law remixing, prohibit commercial use, require share alike. Crap. I forgot to change the page title. I think I can edit that later. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for posting the show to the feed, so. Normally at these point in times, I'm doing something else while waiting. And usually it doesn't matter when I'm pre-doing all of this, because I'll just upload it, but and I'll already have the post made, but it'll be scheduled for later. But since I'm doing this all at the same time, I'm gonna wait. Because if I post, people will see the post and they can't hear the audio until it's all the way uploaded. Well, drench fur doesn't count when it comes to that. And that was only for a couple days in the year. Elma Draft House here in Austin. Change the information. Tell them this audio is. I can do that. Oh, I can't do that. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Submit. There we go. See, there we go. It's all up to date. It's fine. And publish. With the publish, you should see this go out everywhere. Actually, it should be on Facebook now. And committee minis. Good point. I wasn't part of the committee for Dredge for AJ, so I want to know. But that's it. That's how we create and how I put together and post the audio version of the show. The nice thing about the video versions is they're just streamed, and it goes up with however it goes up as. Same thing for the DRs and everything. Well, that's it. Nice quick little thing to put together a really fun show. So hopefully you will enjoy the actual show that I put together here. And with the new Daddy's Day story time, call your actual father. Don't be erotic unless you're having some sort of incestuous fantasy. I think I'm going to go now. Bye-bye.